Since retiring from the public's eye, I had resigned myself to a life of solitude. For 2 years, I started my day watching Kung Fu theater. Days, then weeks blurred into one long, greasy telethon. The next thing I know, some government goons show up at my place. It seems they've caught a whiff of old Mr. Sunshine himself, Rez. He's back in the media dimension, and they think I'm crazy enough to go back in after him. So they whisk me away to Interrogation 101. They play rough. Start giving me the business. I give a little back. So we negotiate a little something to cover my expenses. They throw in one of those secret agent suits, and I tell them we got a deal. Looks like I'm headed back into the media dimension. It's gonna be deja ouch all over again. Coming through.
Damn, did Michael Vendenboss do the music for this? Because that shit sounds straight out of Unreal Tournament. Anyway, welcome to another series of BK Play. This is Gex Enter the Gecko. The PS1 version, of course, because it has more voice lines, CGI, etc. And I've actually never played this game before. I've got a lot of impressions generally from these games as you would over the internet, but I've never sat down and played it. So you know what, screw it. Let's go ahead and actually jump right in. You know, I really love these menus because they have these ridiculous transitions. Like if you thought like Codemasters late 2000s racing games had bad menus, when I went to the load game option, which I'm never gonna use because of this, dude. There you go. Save states, obviously. But yeah, when I went to the load game option, it took, I swear to God, like 30 seconds for it to just go through 20 billion different rooms, just flying from one place to another until I got there, which is what the fuck. Anyway, this is a 3D platformer released in 1998, so 2 years after Mario 64. It's got all the Mario 64 isms. For example, you can, pretty sure that you can, how do you go about zooming the camera way in on Gex over here? I almost called him Croc. How do you do it? I know that there's a extra zoomed in mode, right? Okay, I guess not. Whatever. You have a semi-open-ended structure. You can visit a couple different stages, but I'm going to start with the obvious first level, that being...
Tail time.
Yeah, it's tail time. God. We get to actually select, much like Mario 64, ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. We get to select the exact mission we want to do, but we can do whichever one. Let's go to the first one, obviously. Jump to the... Damn, no loading times. I'm not sure if that's Duck Station's magic going on, or if that's just how the game is on PS1, because that is very impressive.
Note to self, don't drink tap water at Jerry Garcia's.
Thank you, Donkey. Also, just realized this is the Nitro Rad music. Oh my god. Jesus. This is where all the YouTubers get their music from. But anyway, so, as you can see, this is a typical 3D platformer, and unlike Gex Free, it has a little more of an emphasis on actual platforming. From what I've seen of that game, it's more on the Collectathon side. I mean, they're both Collectathon 3D platformers. That's the thing about this time period, that platformers, outside of a few specifics, like Crash, for example, they largely weren't...
Young to have a second childhood.
They largely weren't that much about the platforming and more so about running around collecting stuff. Now, this is not going to be a 100% playthrough. In fact, I'm probably not even going to showcase all of the different like bonus stages, because I'm not gonna lie, I have no patience for that kind of stuff in games. This is how we get our health back. We can also, for fuck's sake, you can perform a flying kick with this dude. If you basically, it's the Mario long jump. You hold down one of the shoulder buttons and you motherfucker, you didn't work. There you go. So we're gonna try to figure this out. You might have noticed, based on the... Okay, I'm gonna have to get used to these controls. I played this game just a little bit beforehand to get used to it. He's very tight with the way he moves. He's very touchy. It's also really hard to figure out where I'm going. Oh, no, it's not hard to figure out where I'm going. I got the checkerboard pattern. This is a cartoony world where you have all these typical cartoon cliches, like shit falling on top of you, as you would expect. That probably wasn't that hard to avoid, but Yeah, okay, the music is very fitting for this situation. So you've probably noticed something based on the visuals right now. That not only I'm obviously emulating this, but something else is that, well, look at the way it looks. Notice how there's all this, well, you know, smoothing and high resolution stuff. Look, I'm all for preserving the original look, don't get me wrong. And yes, Wabbit season, haha, get it, Elma Fudd? Funny as hell, we're gonna be killing, you can actually kill Elma Fudd in this game. Fuck you, Bugs Bunny. I mean, actually, no. We're actually getting revenge for Bugs Bunny. Yeah, whatever. And so typically I do like to preserve the original look of the game, right? But there are some cases, some art styles that I think greatly benefit from the luxuries of modern rendering. And this game is definitely one of them. This game looks so freaking good. It basically looks like the N64 version, except, you know, not being the N64 version, so it runs a hell of a lot smoother, which is weird because I always thought the N64 was more powerful, but it wasn't so much about its power, it was how it was utilized. You know, it wasn't the more popular system after all, the PS1 was. It's also got way better quality sound and texture, so
You're nothing, Steve.
basically,
You're nothing.
oh, shut the fuck up. We're pretty much getting the best of both worlds here. We're getting the better textures with smoothing, because screw you, I like the way it looks, okay? I know that there's just this, no one likes smoothing on the internet, essentially. There's just been this giant strike against, no, we cannot have texture filtering, and I kind of get it, because some games genuinely do not benefit from texture filtering because their textures are already kind of muddy, so making them even muddier does not help. But this game's textures are very clear and nice, and so in reality, adding the smoothing just makes it look a little bit better, in my opinion. I don't know why I'm trying so hard to justify my choice in the way the game looks, but I feel like I have to for some reason. You know what, I want to see how you're supposed to try and get past this obstacle. Because again, even though this isn't a very obstacle-focused game, this is not an obstacle course platformer like a lot of them would be. Oh, you just swipe them. Also, yes, if you haven't noticed, this game has a double, triple collecting item system. Essentially, when I collect enough of the first thing, the item changes to another thing, and I have to go ahead and collect a bunch of that too. I'm not going to be doing that because it's just extra guff to collect, and I don't really care that much. I just want to complete the main objectives, which are the meat and the most fun part of the game, because you do have a lot of genuinely pretty fun platforming challenges. I definitely have to say that Gex he's such a weird character, because he kind of has like a Bubsy thing going on, except unlike Bubsy, his first game is okay, and his other two games are actually really fucking good. Again, I've only just started playing this one, but just from general impressions I've gathered online, the games are very well made. And there you go, that's the first mission done. We're gonna go ahead and complete a couple of them. We're probably gonna beat the whole world in this episode. And it's just so strange to me, because it really does prove that people don't necessarily want what is... No, we're just going to resume play. I don't need a save because I have save states. It shows that people don't necessarily always want what is objectively best, but just they want what they consider funny, I guess, because we live in a world where Bubsy has, in the last 10 years, received 2 more games. Meanwhile, Gex, well...
Would Cheech and or Chong report to the front desk?
I don't get that. I'm not Gen X enough to get these references. I'm guessing that's the demographic they're targeting. But anyway, what was the thing we're doing with this one? Hunt for the... Oh, yeah, of course. You gotta go ahead and kill Elma Fudd. Both of them. They don't actually call them that, but it's pretty fucking obvious that's what it is. Oh, damn it, where was I? Oh, yeah, I believe I was doing some research regarding this game. I went to the wiki page, and apparently they're going to be re-releasing these, like on current-gen systems. They're going to be running on some emulator. So they're not going to be like full remakes. It's not like Croc, where it's going to be like remake. Well, Croc doesn't look like a remake. It looks more like a remaster. Honestly, by the time I'm done with the series, and by the time it's uploaded, those games are probably going to be out. Because I haven't actually been keeping up with the Croc remasters, because they're remasters, clearly. They are not from the ground-up remakes, from what I can tell. The games look identical in the way that Croc controls them. Maybe that'll change, you motherfucker. Maybe that'll change over time, I'm not sure. But still, I think this game holds up pretty damn well, all things considered, especially the PS1 version with the better sound. That's the funny thing, how the PS1 ended up having games that actually hold up better, thanks to the fact that, nowadays, we can even out the graphics between PS1 and N64, right, by smoothing the textures, increasing the resolution, etc. and yet it still has the better sound and sometimes better visuals overall. It doesn't have that cardboard look. Okay, I gotta go ahead and kill the second guy, and I think that I'll get to go back here to collect my remote. I don't know why the remotes are bright red, but regardless. Anyway, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, that thing that I was talking about in my Dottie Flower playthrough about the controls. Yeah, I'm not gonna... I think I really have to look at it from an ergonomic standpoint. Basically, what I was planning on doing is converting all of the emulators that I have to use the XEMU logic of configuration, as in actually mapping the buttons to what these should be on the keyboard, because I refuse to use a controller. I'm stubborn like that. But so basically, like A would be A, B would be B, etc. But then you start to wonder, what the hell would you do with PlayStation, right? Well, I mean, X would be X, obviously, and C kind of looks like a circle. It's close enough. A would probably be triangle, but you get the idea. It's like, no, why do that? You got to look at it in terms of what is most... Did he just say forget about it? You got to look at it in terms of what is most comfortable to play, right? And for me, this is the most comfortable, this diamond shape thing that I have going on here. That's the most comfortable position I could find. Or you just use an actual controller. Most people are cool with that. I don't know. I've never gelled with game controllers, no matter how many I try.
It's tail time!
Be it first party, third party, doesn't matter. I don't like using them. I don't know, sue me. Anyway, we're done with our second mission. I love the way that looks, the loading screen. Typically, I'll be cutting these out if I have nothing to say over them, of course. Gonna just resume the game. Orchestra hits, great, and I'm just gonna go back to this level. It is, I think what's funny is that what I'm doing right now kind of goes against what I think I said in my Mario 64 DS FOB, Focus on B, where I talked about how, yeah, no, I gotta get the mushrooms.
Hey, I feel like I'm trapped in Boy George's pants.
What the... Okay. So I talked about how the game probably doesn't want you completing everything at once, but I don't know. I kind of would rather just complete everything at once, to be honest. I think it makes sense, at least for the Let's Play format. Maybe if I weren't Let's Playing this, then sure, I would go ahead and do a bunch of different things, you know, one after another. But in this case, I'd rather just complete this world and have, you know, just focus on it, and then focus on something else.
More, and I have the whole set.
What the fuck is he talking about? I only get a couple of these references, right? So you're gonna have to excuse me for not being old enough to get them. I'm gonna assume no, we don't have any. Where the hell are the purple mushrooms anyway? I mean, like, obviously it's a scavenger hunt, right? Every mission, I do like how the missions are split up into multiple categories, much like Mario 64. It's like you got an obstacle course mission, a scavenger hunt mission, a little bit of in between. Right?
Shaka, bro.
Oh, what the fuck is he saying? And I am gonna actually stop and listen to him say these things, because sometimes it can kind of be funny. I mean, note to self, don't drink tap water at Jerry Garcia's. I don't even know who Jerry Garcia's is. Was he notable during the 1990s or even during the late 80s? I don't know. Doesn't matter. Okay, there we go. Oh, we have to hold the button down. There we go to the Mario 64 camera. There it is. So, where the hell are the last few collectibles?
I feel like I'm trapped in Boy George's pants.
You just said that at the start of the level. I do love this particular stage and its aesthetics because it's such a blatant parody of, like, you know, typical cartoons of long before this game. This doesn't feel like cartoons of the 90s. They became a little more cynical. Maybe I'm just thinking of Duckman, I don't know. But it reminds me more of cartoons, that's the whole point, of cartoons of like the 40s or 50s, I think, or even the 60s. You know, that Looney Tunes era, that golden age. Okay, clearly there's no more mushrooms to whack over here. I think we're just gonna have to keep, yeah. Ooh, was that lens flare I just saw? No, it's just a... Is that supposed to be lens flare? Look at that. Not sure.
Tip of the tongue, baby.
You see, that's a reference to popular comedian Mike... That was Mike Myers, right? Like Austin Powers? I hope I'm saying that... Wait, did I just take damage? No. Oh yeah, I forgot this game does the Sonic Unleashed thing where you can just randomly fall over. No, I want to go back in. I do love those transitions. They don't fade to black. They fade to the background color of the level. That's a really nice touch. It looks really nice. Too many games do fade to black. It doesn't look that great, honestly. I think fading to a different color would look really cool, especially if it makes sense for the level, right? Thematically speaking. But I don't know. Fade to Black's a pretty cool song, though. How do I... I'm gonna have to figure out a way to get up there. Oh, I forgot. You can freaking bounce like that. Oh, you can't, his tongue move doesn't work here. So how am I supposed to get up there? I'm guessing I'm gonna have to backtrack from some other. Oh, yeah, of course. There you go. Jump over on top of the level decoration. Very clever. No. Why do we even have to wear this freaking costume? Come on, fucker. What is he even saying? I don't get this. I just want to try and jump up here, but the problem is there's this. So essentially, if you want to quote-unquote double jump, you don't really have a double jump. What you have is like a. So, you know Sonic's bounce bracelet from Adventure 2? It's kind of like that. I'm just going to compare everything to Sonic, of course. You have to tap the button right as you're landing. It's really strange. That render looks really good of him, by the way, when you pick up a life. Also, I've been duped. There actually are no mushrooms up here. Damn it. I gotta go kill the poison mushrooms so Mario from Mario 2 Lost Levels doesn't end up getting killed on them. Unless there's no purple mushrooms in this whole area. Because that would be a problem. I'm not sure. The game would typically let me know. Hold on, yeah, I took some damage. Let's go ahead and heal up. I don't get the point of having him first break that TV and then eat the fly. It's like, why not just have the fly there or just have the TV give you the health back? It's just an extra step that's not really all that necessary. Let's try and look around here. Is obviously, ooh, the texture filtering is doing something very strange to that to that pickup, but I'm keeping it on, damn it, for the remainder of the playthrough. I like it that way. I'm gonna assume this whole area just exists as an intermission, and then we can go ahead and destroy some more of those purple mushrooms. I think that's how it works, right? But so far my impressions of the game, as I have not really created any as I've just started playing it, they're actually quite positive, I have to say. I mean, I obviously knew the game would be pretty good before I even started based on people's impressions of it. But, you know, it's very easy to be underwhelmed when people say, oh, this game is so good. But the thing is, I have never heard anyone describe this game as amazing. I've only heard it, you know, generally received positively, but not like it's the best thing in the world. But it is just so weird because Gex, as I said, has a lot of similarities to Bubsy, but he's actually a good game, too. Like, the first game, from what I've seen, actually isn't terrible. It's just kind of a generic platformer on the 3DO that was then ported to everything else, so the 3DO version became obsolete. I do not want to know what kind of tail that he ends up getting. Although, to be fair, considering that they literally hired a prawn star for the third game to play one of the characters, that would not surprise me, actually. But anyway, I haven't found any more mushrooms, though. Don't tell me that I've been fucking playing this level wrong the whole time. I mean, I'll just do it off screen in that case, but that would kind of mean that I've, I don't know, wasted this whole episode. No, I haven't, really. I mean, we're gonna have a lot more of these to waste either way, but really, where the hell could the rest of those... I don't think this kind of area could even have any more mushrooms. I don't know, we're gonna have to find out. Maybe by just traversing through and just going somewhere else. I'm not sure. Maybe you know what, wouldn't it be fucking hilarious if I've already got all of them? Yeah, look, okay. I'm going to get that off screen. I think we're going to call it a day for this episode. I'm going to go ahead and get that collectible off screen. And I'm going to see you guys with whatever next level we end up doing with Gex Enter the Gecko Part 2. See you then.